In the quiet fields of Israel, a young shepherd discovered a courage that came not from strength, but from God. My name is David. I wasn't a soldier. I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't the tallest. I was just a shepherd boy who sang songs to God while watching sheep on quiet hills. The field was my home. The wind was my friend. And every sunrise reminded me that God was close, even when no one else saw me. Sometimes I felt small, but God never made me feel small inside. One morning, while I was tending the sheep, I felt something in my heart, a warm, steady feeling. Courage. Not the loud kind, not the I can do anything kind, but the quiet kind that whispers, I am with you. I didn't know why I needed courage yet, but God was already preparing me. As I stood in the valley, looking at the giant across from me, something inside my heart pulled me backward. Back to the quiet hills, back to the field where God first taught me courage. I remembered the day a lion came roaring out from behind the rocks. My hands shook, my knees trembled, but something warm filled my chest, a steady strength that wasn't mine. I remembered the day a bear charged toward my flock. I felt small, I felt alone, but the same warm courage rose again, like a whisper inside me saying, I am with you. I didn't hear God with my ears, I felt him with my heart. And standing there in the valley, facing Goliath, I realized something. The courage God gave me in the field was the same courage I needed now. I tightened my grip on my sling. I breathed in the warm memory of God's presence. And you helped me then. You will help me now. When I reached the battlefield to bring food to my brothers, I heard a roar. A giant stood across the valley. Goliath. He was taller than any man I had ever seen. His armor shone like fire in the sun. His voice shook the ground. Everyone was afraid. But something inside me wasn't. Not because I was brave, but because I remembered the field, the songs, the quiet courage God had taught me. I whispered, God, if you are with me, I can face him. I didn't take armor. It didn't fit. I didn't take a sword. I didn't know how to use one. I took what I did know, my sling, and 5 smooth stones from the river. My hands shook a little, but my heart didn't, because courage isn't about being strong. It's about trusting the one who is. Goliath laughed when he saw me. He called me small. He called me weak. But I remembered something God whispered to my heart in the field. I see you. So I swung my sling. Once, twice, 3 times. The stone flew like a spark of light, and God guided it. The giant fell. Not because of me, but because of God. People cheered, my brothers stared, but I just felt quiet inside, the same quiet courage I felt on the hills. I learned something that day. Courage doesn't come from being big. Courage comes from trusting God. And sometimes, the smallest person in the field becomes the bravest person in the valley. When the valley grew quiet, I lowered my sling and breathed in the sunlight. My heart felt warm, the same warmth I knew in the fields. I looked toward heaven and whispered, Thank you, Lord. The giant had fallen, but the victory was never mine. It belonged to the God who stood with me then and stands with me now. May David's courage remind you today, when God is with you, no giant is too big and no valley is too deep.